it's come time to sharpen some of my chisels and some of the plain blades as well. So what I did was, everything I do is usually on a budget. So I thought this worked really well. I went to my home store and I found a 12 by 12 piece of granite tile. It's very, very flat, and the top has kind of like a smooth glass finish. On the bottom, I had some leftover silicone from a kitchen project that I just put like 4 dollops on the 4 corners, and then put a piece of a plastic baggie over it and smashed it down onto the, smashed it down like this to allow it to smash down to about a 1/4 inch or so. And that put some 4 nice kind of grippy feet on it. So I like to use this, and this keeps it nice and, I guess it sticks it to the bench top nice. And then what I do is I have just sheets of automotive sandpaper that I buy, and these are usually silicone carbide. So what I have here is the chisels are usually pretty sharp, so I'll run through, this is a 1200 grit here, and then a 2000 grit and a 3000 grit. If you need to, I also have some of these that go all the way down to a 400 grit, and then 600, 800, 12, and then I guess 1200. There's 1000 too. There's a few other steps in between here, but I find the 1200, 2000, and 3000 work just fine for what I need to do. Okay, so one thing that you can do for this, it takes a little bit too much time, and I don't really prefer to do it that way, is you can soak the whole thing down so it has a nice coating of water on it, and buy this type of sandpaper that is wet dry, and it'll, like, the suction from the water, just smear this thing with water, stick your paper down to it, and it'll hold the paper on there. This paper is a little bit thin for that, but like I said, I don't usually have time, and I find that I keep my chisels sharper if I just have something I can walk over to and do a couple of passes and be done with it, and not have a whole setup that takes 5-10 minutes to set up. So what I will do, here's one of my favorite chisels. What I will do is I have this little guide that sets the angle for you, and you don't have to use this, but I find it's pretty helpful. This I bought at the hardware store for I think like $13. So it opens and it closes, and you can open it to do a wider chisel or close it to do a thinner chisel. So what I will do is I will take it out of here, find where the bevel sits on here, and I guess that would be about right there. Bring your guide up to it, keeping that level, and then tighten this screw, and it'll lock it in at that level. And then all you have to do is, starting with I have the 1200 here, start with that. I just do a couple of passes making a V. And just double check to make sure you're kind of hitting all the areas. Move on to the 2000. And then on to the 3000. Take it out of there. Just feel your edge. You can feel when that's sharp. I'll try a block here, find the right grain. This is red oak. That'll make a nice little curl out of it. So that I can just feel is very, very sharp. So that's really all I do. That keeps everything sharp, And like I said, maybe once a month or so, I'll take out the sandpaper and take this out. It takes about 2-3 minutes to get it out and do a little bit of honing. For these blades, same thing, just pop them out. They don't have as much of a handle, and run them across there a few times and keep everything sharp. I really like the flat surface on here, and the one piece only cost about $3-4, so it works really well. And then this stuff is, it lasts a long time. I use the same piece maybe for 6-7 months in a row, and it holds up pretty well. And these are real inexpensive. So if you do need to, say if you have a chisel that you just bought, like when I bought this one from a garage sale, I think I bought this for like $5, and it was in kind of rough shape. So what I did is I set it up on here, found the angle, and you can actually, there's little measurements on the side of here that tells you how far away to put it from your end, and it'll give you a certain angle. And 30 degrees here or 25 degrees is kind of the preferred. So it'll tell you to come in, like here it says 30 millimeters will give you this distance, or 40 millimeters will give you this distance. I'm sorry, 40 millimeters will give you this angle, or 30 millimeters from the end will give you a 30-degree angle. So if you need to really take down a chisel that's pretty beaten up, what I would do is start with I like the silicon carbide, the black sandpaper. Start with like the 400 and just keep going on the 400 until you see that you have a nice edge on here, and it's nice and the whole edge is nice and flat. You see the whole flat edge on here. And then move up to the 600 and then the 800 and pass through all of those. And you can see I almost have one right here, but you can put a nice mirror finish on here. All right, thank you.